Yesterday we had done about Mendel. We had mainly studied about a test cross and about a back cross. Okay. So today we are going to study about Punnett square and a mathematical expression of depicting the possible phenotypes and genotypes. We will be using a mathematical identity to find out the possible expressions or the possible ratios that we will get in certain generations. To start with Punnett square beta, see the production of gametes, the F1 generation, the F2 generation, all are expressed with the help of a diagram which we call as the Punnett square. What is this Punnett square? You can express everything in one diagram. It is the gametes, F1 generation, F2 generation, everything can be expressed with the help of a diagram. This is what we call as the Punnett square. This Punnett square was developed by a British scientist. His name was Reginald C. Punnett. Reginald. R-E-G-I-N-A-L-D. What is his name? Reginald. R-E-G-I-N-A-L-D. His name was Reginald C. Punnett. What is this Punnett square? Actually, it is a graphical representation. What is it? It's a graphical representation. What does it tell you? It helps you in calculating the possibilities of all the possible genotypes of offsprings. Whatever offsprings we are going to get in the next generation, what will be the possible genotypes? Like earlier we said, we are going to get all tall in the first generation. In the second generation, we will get a ratio 3:1. But we could depict only what? We could depict only the phenotypic characters. Yesterday, if you remember, we had done a cross. I told you the first generation will show only tall. And in the second generation, you will get a ratio of what? Tall and dwarf. Then we took an example of violet and white flowers also yesterday, and I told you in the first generation we will get all violet. In the second generation, we will get a ratio of violet and white by 3:1. But we could only depict what? We could only tell about the phenotypic characters. We could just say we will get tall. We could just say we will get violet. But we could not tell about the genetic composition or the genotype of the offsprings. So this Punnett square is actually a graphical representation. It will help you in calculating the possibility of all the possible genotypes of offsprings. What did Punnett do? Okay, Reginald C. Punnett. What did he do? He expressed the ratios as a binomial expression. He tried to express the ratio with the help of a binomial expression. Ax plus by is equal to ax plus by whole square. Simple. In mathematics, you've done an identity a plus b whole square. We have all done this identity right from very small classes. A plus b whole square, I have written on the board. A plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. What is it? A plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. What are we trying to find out? Here we are finding out the gametes. Okay, we have taken capital T and small t in equal frequency of half. So by starting, our A is equal to half capital T and our B is equal to half small t. What have we taken? We have taken the genotypes of offsprings. We have taken them in equal frequency, that is capital T and small t, and both of them we have taken them as half. So half t plus half t square. What is your a plus b whole square when I say what is your a over here? A is half capital T. What is b over here? It is half small t. Now let us open this expression. A plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. You should do it with me right now to see whether your results match with mine. Now a square, what was a? It was 1 upon 2 capital T. So we will make a square of this 1 upon 2 capital T square. The second part of the identity says b square. My b was half small t. So b square becomes half small t square, and then 2 into a into b, 2ab, that is 2 into 1 upon 2 capital T into 1 upon 2 small t. Let's go back to 1 a square, 1 upon 2 t square. This will become 1 upon 4 capital T. Similarly, 1 upon 2 small t square will become 1 upon 4 capital small t, and there 2 and 2 will get cancelled. What you get is 1 upon 2 capital T small t. I want every one of you to solve this and see whether your results match mine or not. Because theoretically here, maybe you don't understand what I am saying. So a plus b whole square, you simply put a as 1 upon 2 capital T. B you put it as 1 upon 2 small t and then simply open your identity. You get this ratio, you get this equation 1 upon 4 capital T, 1 upon 4 small t and 1 upon 2 capital T small t. Now, your genotypes have been calculated by using mathematical probability, but it is not possible to know the genotypic composition by looking only at the phenotype, and that was the reason that Mendel devised a cross. If you can see over here, we have started with the parents. I made a cross on the board. We started with the parents. Parents, we have taken tall parents, homozygous tall, that is capital T, homozygous dwarf parents, that is small t. So what are the gametes? The gametes are capital T and small t. What are you getting in the F1 generation beta? We are going to get all tall in F1 generation, that is capital T small t. What have we got in the F1 generation? All hybrid talls. What are we getting in the first generation? All of them are hybrid talls, that means capital T small t. Now we will self-cross the members of the first generation, that is F1. Means we are going to cross capital T small t into capital T small t. So what have we done? We are crossing this. So capital T small t we have written here. Because we are again crossing it with the same thing, so we have written capital T small t over here. Why have we written it like this? Because we are crossing what? We are crossing capital T small t into capital T small t. This is what we are crossing. These are the members of F1 generation. So I have written capital T small t, capital T small t. TT becomes capital T, TT over here becomes capital T small t. This again becomes capital T small t, and this is small t, that is dwarf. This is your F2 generation. What is this generation? F2. F1 was all heterozygous tall, you got it capital T small t. When we talk about the phenotypic ratio of F2 generation, you can very clearly see that you are getting 3 tall and 1 dwarf. So the phenotypic ratio would be of this cross, monohybrid cross, is simply coming out to be 3:1. But the genotypic ratio, if we talk about the genotypic ratio, then this 3 which represents tall, they are not all homozygous tall. Out of them, 1 is homozygous tall and the other 2 are heterozygous tall. That means capital T is 1 and capital T small t is 2. So this 3 is further segregated and written as 1:2. So the genotypic ratio becomes 1:2:1. If you do not understand, please let me know. I'll help you right now in the class. We move on to another term, that is one gene inheritance. Okay? What is this? One gene inheritance. The study of inheritance of a single pair of genes or factors. If we are observing, if we are studying only a single pair of genes or a single pair of factors of a trait at a time, we call this as a one gene inheritance, or commonly you call it as a monohybrid cross. What is it commonly called? Monohybrid cross. So your monohybrid cross in genetics is known as one gene inheritance. Why is it called one gene inheritance? Because we are studying the inheritance of only single pair of genes or a single pair of factors of a trait. Based on this one gene inheritance concept, Mendel proposed 2 laws, okay, of inheritance. He gave 2 rules of inheritance, 2 laws of inheritance, which are known as principles of inheritance or laws of inheritance. So based on this one gene inheritance, he gave 2 laws. His first law is known as the law of dominance, okay, which simply says that characters are controlled by factors and the factors occur in pairs. And whenever we have a dissimilar pair of factors, only one pair of the member is able to express itself, and that is dominant, the other one is recessive. This is very simple. Law of dominance, first law says characters are controlled by factors which occur in pairs, and if we have a dissimilar pair of factors, then only one member of the pair will express itself. That means it will become dominant, the other will remain recessive. Again, the second law, which is based on one gene inheritance, that is your law of segregation. Second law, Mendel's second law. Mendel's first law was law of dominance. Mendel's second law here is law of segregation. What does it say? Though parents contain 2 alleles during gamete formation, when gamete formation is taking place, how many alleles are there in the parent? Parents contain 2 alleles. But the alleles of a pair, they segregate from each other. What happens is, we have a pair, Now the alleles of the pair, they segregate from each other, they separate from each other such that a gamete will receive only one of the pairs. Though parents had two alleles, that means a pair of alleles. During gamete formation, these alleles of a pair, they will segregate from each other. And because of this separation, because of this segregation, a gamete will receive only one of the pairs. That means alleles will not show any blending. Okay? Alleles will not show any blending or any mixing of both the characters or both the factors. We have also seen that the factors which was hidden in the F1 generation expresses itself later in the F2 generation, but there is no blending. I had discussed with you yesterday also that when we cross red and white, white may not come in the F1 generation, it will come in the F2 generation, but there would be no blending. This is law of segregation. So first law of dominance and second law of segregation, both of them are based on one gene inheritance, that is your monohybrid cross theory. Now, then we started studying two gene inheritance. After Mendel finished with first law of one gene inheritance, that is monohybrid cross, he gave the concept of two gene inheritance. What is this two gene inheritance? It is the study of inheritance of two pairs of alleles, what we commonly call as dihybrid. When we are simply studying one pair of allele, it is monohybrid cross, or you could what do you call it as simply? It is known as a single gene inheritance. But if we are studying two pairs of traits, two pairs of alleles, then we call it as a dihybrid cross or two gene inheritance. On the basis of this two gene inheritance, that is your dihybrid cross, Mendel gave the third law, which is known as the law of independent assortment. What is it called? It is called as the law of independent assortment. What does this law say? This law says that when two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid, supposing you have a hybrid and you have two pairs of traits. How many pairs? You don't have two traits, you don't have two characters. You've got two pairs of characters. Is it okay? Two pairs of characters and they are combined in a hybrid. Then the segregation of the pair of the character is independent of the other pair of character. So whenever segregation will take place, then segregation of one character will be independent of the other pair of the character during gamete formation. When gamete formation will take place, what will happen? We had a hybrid where we had two pairs of traits which were combined. But segregation of the pairs of character is independent of the other character. Whenever segregation will take place, then one pair of the character will always segregate itself, separate itself independent of the other pair at the time of gamete formation. Okay? This I'll prove, this I'll explain further with the help of an example in the next video. So, we have a Punnett square which is a graphical representation. Then we need to know how can we express this with the help of a binomial expression. I have taken 1 upon 2t, capital T and 1 upon 2 small t. We could take any other values and solve this expression. We will be doing it today in the class itself. So, just remember the identity a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. Any value of a and b can be given to you. Then this is a simple monohybrid cross where we got F1 generation, all of them were tall, hybrid tall, capital T small t, and then when we cross them, the monohybrid cross phenotypic ratio was 3:1 and the genotypic ratio was 1:2:1. Then we did one gene inheritance where we were studying the inheritance of a single pair of factors, and on the basis of one gene inheritance, when we gave two laws, the first law which is known as law of dominance and the second law which is known as law of segregation. Then we studied about two gene inheritance where we studied the inheritance of two pairs of alleles commonly called as your dihybrid cross. So on the basis of your two gene inheritance, we have the third law of Mendel which is known as law of independent assortment. So we have three laws. First law, law of dominance. Second law, law of segregation, both based on single gene inheritance. And the last law, that is law of independent assortment, the third law, this is based on the two gene inheritance concept. That's all for today. Let's practice it today in the class.